Record store day, yeah, yeah, yeah. Saw a girl with a cute butt, yeah, yeah, yeah. She had nice eyes and cool hair too, yeah, yeah, yeah. But she wasn't at record store day. She was at the catch where I went to eat fish last night 'cause it's Lent, yeah, yeah, yeah. Hello, everybody in the VC. So I wasn't going to go. Wasn't planning on it. Saw the list a couple of months ago or whatever, and just thought wasn't too much on there that anything I could live without. I didn't think. But then I did a dumb thing, and last night I watched the Bull Moose guy who does the every year at Record Store Day, or twice a year, I guess he does the video at his record shop out there in Oregon, where he does the shows all the records that are part of Record Store Day. And I always watch that, and I watched it yesterday, and I thought, well, I don't know, maybe I'll check it out. But then I woke up this morning, and I also thought I'm not going to go because it was I had something I had to go to at 10 o'clock that I couldn't get out to, and the record store is open at like 9 or 10, so I figured by the time I got over to them, they would all be picked over. Plus it's pouring rain last night and all day today. I think it's supposed to tomorrow too. So, but I had to get out in that to do some work stuff, and long story short, when I got out, I thought I'll go ahead and run by Doc's just to see. Sure enough, everything didn't have much left. Everything was picked over and sucked up, and they had a James Brown album I considered but didn't buy. Had a Prince album that's double album of some remixes that I considered for a good long while, but in the end I didn't go with that because it was like $38, and it was a double album with only 2 songs on each side, and if it had been a little less, maybe I'd had gotten it, but I didn't. So then I thought, well, it's pouring rain, I'm going to go home. But on the way home, I thought, well, might as well swing out to Forever Young Records. And I did, and I ended up actually getting some things. Went through the list again last night after I watched the Bull Moose video and sort of picked out some things that I would like to have. A couple of the things that he showed in the video looked really cool. And of course, the 2 things that top of my list that I really wanted, they didn't have at either Doc's or Forever Young Records, and that was the Stax Does the Beatles, which is Stax Records, just a double album. People like Otis Redding and the Barkays and so forth doing Beatles songs would have been a cool thing to have. They showed that on the Bull Moose video. And it's a really cool album cover. It's got like the Beatles bass drum, but it says Stax on it instead of the Beatles, but the T in Stax goes down like the T in Beatles, and so it has the bass drum, it says Stax Does, and then the Beatles, and the Beatles on the album cover is embossed just like on the White Album, so it looks really cool. And he had it open, and inside there's liner notes and pictures of Steve Cropper and the Mark Hayes, Otis Redding, and Isaac Hayes and all that. So I really wanted that, but it wasn't at either of my stores, unfortunately. The other one I wanted was the Badfinger album with the B-sides and rarities and so forth. Neither had that. Not too surprised because from looking at the list, that says that there's only 900 copies of that. The Beatles album, the Stax album, I think I don't have to go back and look, but I think there's 3,000 copies or so. So I didn't get that, but pretty much everything else I wanted was there, and I ended up picking it up. I passed on a few things that I almost got. Was the Cheap Trick, an album of B-sides and rarities. Considered that, but I didn't go with that. There was a live Ramones album that I looked at, and 1 or 2 other things. And then, so yeah, I went by Doc's, and they didn't have much of anything left. And but Forever Young Records, they had a shitload of stuff. A lot of crap too. A soundtrack to I Know What You Did Last Summer. I don't know who buys crap like that, but somebody, I guess. But what else? So I passed on the Ramones and Cheap Trick, and passed on John Lennon. Saw that. I almost got it because the cover, especially this really cool picture of him on the back cover of the album. The front cover's good picture too. But I learned that it is, and I got the Imagine Super Deluxe CD set here back in November, whenever that came out. Great set. But the album is just, there's nothing on the album that's not on the CD set. It's demos and alternate takes and so forth of songs off Imagine. I went by it 2 or 3 times and eventually thought, I got to get out of here before I actually buy this damn thing, because it was, I think it was $36, $37 single album. It does have a poster. It has one of the War Is Over If You Want It posters and some other stuff in there, but it's just a single album. This stuff I already have. And the other thing about it is, if you ever look at the Record Store Day list, you'll notice that it starts off with exclusive Record Store Day releases that are only released on Record Store Day. And then they've got the regional releases, and then they've got the what they call the first day releases, which means that the album is released on Record Store Day, but then a month or two later it comes out in regular release. Sometimes the Record Store Day version has something extra. Sometimes it comes out on vinyl, and when it comes out on regular release, it's only on CD or download or whatever, but not always. Sometimes it comes out on vinyl on Record Store Day, and then a couple of months later it comes out on vinyl again, maybe a different cover or something, sometimes not. Point is, the John Lennon Imagine Sessions, I think that's what it's called, that album is one of those first day releases, so it'll be out in a couple of months and probably for cheaper than $37. And if I really want it, I can get it then, which I probably won't, because like I said, I've already got it. And several Record Store Days ago I got that box set of Imagine, which has a lot of cool stuff in it. So I think I've got all the Imagine that I need, even though it does have a really cool cover. So what did I get? Well, let's get into that. Got a bag of goodies here, and really do want that Stax Does the Beatles album, and maybe I'll be able to track it down at some point. But so first up, a 45. This is Link Ray, something called Vernon's Diamond, which was limited. It doesn't say on the record door sheet how many copies were pressed of it. But Vernon's Diamond is a song from 1958 that he recorded that was never released, according to this. And the flip side is My Brother, My Son, which is another unreleased song from 1970. Anyway, Link Ray, legendary guitarist, Rumble and all that stuff. And I got, I don't know, 4 or 5 Record Store Days ago, I got a double EP of stuff by him that had 4 or 5 songs on it, or yeah, 4 or 5 songs. Really, really good stuff. So I don't know what this is, but I'm looking forward to hearing it, and we'll see. It's got a cool picture sleeve, and a nice picture of Ray there, and comes in a just black vinyl. There's the record, and so that's that. I got a couple others. I looked at those High Tide and Green Grass and Through the Past Darkly Greatest Hits Rolling Stones albums that were on orange and green vinyl. Considered those, but I didn't, because I already have them, and so didn't go with them. The next thing I was kind of surprised was there. This was limited to 11,000 copies. It is The Doors, London Fog, which is their first known live recordings, captured on the Sunset Strip in California in 1966. Don't know what that has to do with London, but anyway, there is the track listing, which is mainly covers. As you see, there is Strange Days is on there, and You Make Me Real is a Morrison deal. So out of the 11,000 copies, I got 3,381. They had 2 other copies there, and those were in the 9,000, so I grabbed the lowest numbered copy. There's the label, if you care, and it is on black vinyl too. So kind of curious to see what this is about, because I don't know what the quality is going to be like, this being 1966 recording and all, but we'll see. And